Hello, everyone. This is JPL, and I'm joined with
Matthew here.
yes, and we are the Council of Podcasting in the brackets, and today we will be talking about Thor Ragnarok.
Yes, it's a really good movie. Go out and see it.
And yes, and to begin, we should say, what do you think of the movie?
I really liked it. I think it's one of my favorite Marvel movies, if not my favorite. The humor style matches my humor pretty much exactly. So I just had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I do say it's a very good movie. It's probably the best of the Thor movies. There's so much comedy in this one. It's stylized, kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy. Very fun, very retro looking. It's a great, funny experience, and I would say, yeah, I would highly recommend it to you all.
Yeah. So, shall we dive in?
Let's dive in. What should we start with?
That's a very good question. Oh, let's start with, first off, spoilers. Let's
Spoiler
talk about
alert.
Thor.
Thor, the character
Yeah.
Thor.
I
Very
think they
good.
finally figured out kind of his character as like the cool guy who's still funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
And
Thor being serious, it just didn't work in the past two movies.
yeah, I mean, they were trying to go for like a Shakespearean conflicted hero, but it just wasn't.
But you gotta keep in mind that Shakespeare also had comedy in his work.
And I think Chris Hemsworth does a lot. He's really good in the role, and I actually heard someone talking about how there's a lot of people in Hollywood who, like Josh Gad, who, because they look a certain way, they're always cast as the funny people and can never be a leading man. Chris Hemsworth has the opposite problem, where he looks like a leading man, but he's really the funny guy.
Oh, I see.
So, and I think this is a really good demonstration of his talents. He's very likable, and yet he's still very much the hero of the story.
Alright, so let's go over the destruction of Mjolnir.
Yeah. I think they kind of glossed over that a bit too much.
Of course.
But, I mean, to be fair, the whole tone of the movie is very much nothing holds much emotional weight.
It's very confusing at times. I know that, the destruction of Mjolnir, that should be a much bigger, defeat for Thor, but instead, I don't exactly remember what happens. The hammer gets destroyed, and his next step is just to leave.
Yeah.
And then you get into the whole portal thing, and it starts off with a brand new comedic routine.
Yeah. And, yeah, I think that's one of the bigger flaws of the movie, is whenever there's a chance for an emotional scene, they kind of make it more comedic.
Yes, and that was one of the bigger issues with the second Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yeah, I think, and I have other problems with Guardians of the Galaxy that we might get into later, but I think that that's the big thing that Thor needs to work on.
And so his hammer is gone, and what do we even know what his new hammer is?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know that supposedly he's, I don't know, some kind of scythe-looking thing.
Yeah.
Just depending from the images for Infinity War, which we're still waiting for a trailer.
Yeah. My guess is it'll come out with either Star Wars or Black Panther.
I don't know. I just think I just need to get that thing done. It's an axe, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. I can't find anything here. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I think at one point he switches to some kind of axe with, it looks like a gun.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know what. No, wait, no, that's Rocket's holding the gun.
Yeah.
He's holding an axe. Okay. It's very confusing because image, but I think in the comics he did had an axe for some
Yeah.
time.
And I looked, and there's
So anyway,
a picture of Chris
yeah,
Hemsworth holding an axe type thing.
yeah. So anyway, next point of order, his new costume.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything that the movie did to change him worked really well. I like the new haircut, and I think the new costume looks pretty cool.
Yes, the haircut is one of the nicer changes you have there.
Yeah.
And probably also his new helmet, if they're even going to keep that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And so let's talk about the elephant in the room, the missing eye.
Yeah. I think that was an interesting direction to take the character. We'll have to see how it pans out. But
Yes, because yeah, see how it pans out. But another thing is like they changed the trailers just for this movie, which was odd.
yeah, but they probably didn't want to spoil that part.
Of course, they want to show the epic-looking Thor lightning
Yeah.
scenes, but which they just added an eye for that. Which, when I was watching the scene, I was like very confused. I was hoping that maybe the lightning would bring back his eye, so that we can get that really cool shot. But I'm more distracted just by the one eye.
Yeah. I do think it's an interesting symbol. We'll have to see if they use it later, but um sort of how in losing an eye he can suddenly see sort of a different side of life. But
Yes.
I mean, they might not go that direction. They didn't in this movie, so I wouldn't expect them to necessarily go there. But
So, I the trailer. I do the trailer.
yeah,
Yeah, it for some reason I don't. There's just a lot of changes. Like the oddest change that I saw was the scene where Hela or
Hella,
Helen,
yeah,
yeah, Hela destroys the hammer. In the trailer, it shows it being destroyed during an alleyway.
yeah,
And in the movie, it's actually in Norway for some reason.
yeah. It's very strange that they made that change.
I don't know what their goal was, but it did something.
Yeah,
So,
that would be.
is that it for Thor?
Um, yeah. I mean, I can't necessarily think of anything else to talk about him. I mean, his character was very much fixed from the past
Of course.
movies. Um, and yeah, he's now one of my more favorite Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Not my favorite, but it's hard to beat.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the new Spider-Man, so...
That's a discussion for a different day.
Different day. For a bigger movie. Anyway, on to Loki.
Yeah. He didn't have all that much interesting in this movie. I think he's kind of become a little bit one note as a character.
Yes.
He was a very interesting character in the Avengers, but he's been in a lot of these movies and he doesn't really have that much interesting going on. We already know that he's going to betray everyone he gets close
Of
to.
course.
So I think even the characters at this point know that.
Yes, I mean
So,
we everyone thinks that he took the Tesseract.
yeah.
So.
And I think they don't necessarily need to do anything else with Loki. I would be fine if he didn't show up again.
Yes, I mean they were setting
At
up
least for a
something
little
big
while.
when he took over Odin's spot, but that was just
Yeah. That was the movie turned that into a joke.
a joke that quickly changed for some reason. I don't know why. Another thing I like to address is the exclusion of Jane.
Yeah. Um, I think her character, kind of like Loki, nothing interesting happened with her in the last
I think the
movie.
most annoying thing about it was that we have two movies focused on the love between Jane and Thor, and it's just like, oh yeah, we're no longer together, and it's a totally mutual thing, and it's passed off as a joke, and I'm kind of annoyed by that because you make us sit through so many hours with that boring love story, and you don't even pull it off.
Yeah, I do think it was a very good
But
thing that
it should have been
Marvel.
like a much more personal thing for Thor. I think.
Yeah, I think they didn't want to because it wasn't working, so I think Marvel wanted to just sort of give up on it
Well, I heard
and
that Natalie
not.
Portman didn't really want to do more Marvel movies.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of annoying that they weren't able to sort of finish that in a better way, but at the same time, that would have taken time away from everything else in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um, well, we're on that subject since this scene happens relatively soon after that. Why don't we talk about Doctor Strange?
Okay. Just so you guys know, our reasoning for having podcasts about any specific movie is you need to have at least three superheroes in the movie. So we have Thor, we have Hulk, and we have Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Um, I mean, for a cameo, it was a pretty decent cameo. I love the gag with the hammer at the end of that.
Yes, I didn't know that he could turn his hammer into an umbrella. That was
Yeah,
odd.
it just sort of like unceremoniously making Loki disappear in the middle of the street.
Yes,
It
and him
was,
falling for ages.
yeah,
That was great.
it was,
I mean, he was
yeah,
there to
and
move the
I mean,
plot forward. So
yeah, and he did a good job. I do think it is kind of annoying that the end credit scene for Doctor Strange was basically just a shortened version of this scene from Thor
yeah,
Ragnarok.
I wish they didn't repeat a scene.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a really good scene. I kind of wish they had waited for this movie to reveal it, but
Yeah, I mean they could have. I mean, and that wasn't even. That wasn't even the end credits scene. That was just the scene before the end credits.
no, yeah,
So that could have been cut out.
yeah. Um. Oh, I did want to quickly mention Matt Damon's
Of
cameo,
course, Matt Damon and Sam
which
Neill.
Matt Damon and his brother and Sam Neill,
Yes.
which I didn't realize the first time I saw it, but I was watching that scene again, and I mean it's great that they got Matt Damon to do that, just like a quick cameo.
Yeah. It's no. I don't know why. There's like no reason for it, but it's fun the way it is.
Yeah, and hopefully, I mean, hopefully it doesn't keep Matt Damon from being in the Marvel universe in a more
I mean,
prominent
what did
role.
he even do? Just
But
this? All right.
yeah, I mean, maybe they'll bring that character back
Of
later.
course.
That would be a lot of
All
fun.
right. Next port of order. Point of order.
Um, well, we have Kate Blanchett as
All
Hela.
right. Very good job.
Yeah, I think here's one of the things that I thought of the movie. It feels kind of like I don't know, like a high school drama team decided to make a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Kate Blanchett is like the mom who came in and is like just enjoying being a part of it
Yeah.
and sort of like she knows the kind of movie she's in and she just is having fun with it.
Yes. You can tell that she's
I
enjoying her
mean,
time.
yeah, yeah. I mean, oh, it's kind of like Hugo Weaving in The
Ah,
Matrix, just like knowing exactly what type of movie you're in and embracing
of
it.
course.
Ben Mendelsohn in Rogue One also had shades of that.
Of course. And also anything involving Star Wars, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was a great villain. Most of her time, she was just, I don't know, just being smooth.
yeah. She had a very distinct
Of
walk,
course. I mean, she
and
looks pretty young for what she is. I don't know what she is.
um, yeah, she's this doesn't.
Yeah, all we know that she was born in '69. So
So someone who's good at math could figure
let's
that
say
out.
Doctor Who came out in '63, 50 years ago. So she's at least 40. We can tell, and
Yeah,
that's as
she's
far as I want to go.
yeah, but I mean, she's incredible in everything that she's in. Fun fact: she's one of the few actresses to have been nominated for Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars in the same
Hmm.
year. And I mean, she just does an incredible job with the role. I hope she'll come back for Infinity War.
I don't
There's sort
know.
of a there's an idea that because the whole in the original comics, Thanos' whole motivation is he wants to impress Death, who's a literal character in the Marvel universe who
Yes, I think they
created
also changed
Deadpool.
her backstory in this.
Yeah. So I think they could have Hela go into that role. And then you get the extra benefit of having Kate Blanchett playing Death.
I don't think there's any confirmation on that.
No, there's no confirmation. This is just
And I,
speculation.
I, I don't think that's probably going to be the case. I think they're going to choose for something more simple. Like, oh, he just wants to
Yeah.
destroy the Earth or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they might go for that as well. But it would be great to see her back.
Yes, I'm kind of getting tired of the whole Thanos thing because we don't actually see him being menacing at all. He's just sitting in a
Yeah.
chair, and like it's fine. It was fine like the first few years, but now that it's been like I don't know, 5 years, even more since his first appearance, he's just I'm losing track of him as a villain,
Yeah. And that's a problem that they're going to need to
of
solve.
course.
Which I think that would be why they would bring Kate Blanchett in, either as like a girlfriend type character or as the sort of like an accomplice, because she's a bit more fresh in everyone's
Of
mind.
course.
And that headdress is just so
It
cool,
is. It's very cool.
and the cape and everything. It's like it kind of reminds me of um,
I like it
Ben
better when
Mendelsohn
she's
in Rogue One
wearing
with the
her headdress than she is when she pulls down her hair for some reason.
well, yeah, but I think both are like really cool looks.
I'm not a big fan of the
She's a
hair.
very distinct character. Uh, I like the hair,
It's
but
alright, but it's nothing crazy. She looks like an emo person with the hair down and the
kind of.
eyeliner, you know.
But you don't want since the headdress is virtual, you don't necessarily want it in every shot.
Of course.
And here might be a good opportunity to talk about something. I love the visuals of this
Mm-hmm.
movie because you have sort of with like the heroes, you have this very 80s pop type vibe with colors and everything, and then with Hella and all the bad guys, you have sort of a heavy metal album art type
Yeah.
feel. So it's very like if you look at any of the shots where the Valkyrie are fighting against Hela, there you could like put it on a CD and like Metallica and it could be their next album.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, is this everything for Hela?
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably address things
Maybe. I
later
just can't.
as we go
How many
along.
times have you seen the movie?
I've seen it
Uh,
twice.
I've only seen it once, so this is just
Yeah,
me going from memory.
yeah, and it isn't like there's a lot that happens with any of these characters. Probably the most happens with Thor.
Yes.
Oh, one thing we can talk about Hela is her relationship to
Of course.
Odin.
That's what I was talking about. Wasn't she originally the
Yeah.
daughter of Loki?
Um, in the comics, I think Loki was her daughter.
What?
I don't remember. I actually don't really remember what it was, but they changed it a bit for the movie where she's the sister of Thor and Loki, and I feel like that works.
I mean, it works, but it's
It simplifies everything. So Yark tried to sit in the theater with a notebook and a pencil sketching out a family tree.
yes. Loki dated a snake person, and then Hela
Yeah,
comes out of it. I don't know.
yeah. Odin was in this movie very
Very
briefly.
briefly, I was kind of disappointed by his exit. Just like no explanation. Just like, oh, I'm dying now. Poof. I'm one. I'm one with the
Anthony
Force.
Hopkins. Anthony
He's great.
Hopkins doing another. Yeah, I think he was really well utilized in the first Thor. I think he's been underutilized since then.
Yes.
Obviously, now he won't really be able to do anything unless Loki decides
I
to
don't know.
disguise
He could be
himself.
Pixie Dust. Just suddenly turn into. Phew. Yes.
Yeah. Um, and I do like that sort of idea of how he covered up the past. Like he was ashamed of all of the warring he did and
Yes.
sort of threw all that out, and Hela as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so her motivation feels very organic of, this is the person who was ashamed of me, and so he threw me out, and so now I'm coming back to prove to everyone
Yes.
that I'm actually worthy.
Mm-hmm. Uh, Heimdall.
Heimdall, uh, he wasn't that big
I
of a
missed his deep
character.
voice.
Yeah, Idris Elba, he should have held out for a bigger role. But I mean, a lot of these characters, the actors do a great job, but they just don't have anything
Yeah,
to
they
lose.
just you gotta focus on your main character, and you have to push everyone else. As a side note, I mean, he
Yeah,
fought well. He does his job well, and he's Heimdall.
yeah.
So that
There wasn't really any standout
I mean,
moment
he grew his
necessarily.
hair. That's
Yeah.
pretty much it. I guess we should talk about Grandmaster.
Yes. He was
You gotta
hilarious.
love Jeff Goldblum.
Yes. He's like, if Kate Blanchett is the mom in this high school movie production, then Jeff Goldblum is the
The
dad.
awkward dad.
Yeah, the awkward dad who wants to be cool but is also 20 years behind in pop
The
culture.
only thing I found was confusing was just when Thor is about to meet the Grandmaster. Just the music they were playing Willy Wonka's theme, which I thought, why do they have Willy Wonka's theme? What's the point of that? I don't know. And why it's odd to me is because that theme is another. That's being utilized in like another movie, Ready Player One, used for that
Yeah.
advertisement, and so I'm just hearing it popping up again. It's like, huh? Yeah, wait, this is the wrong movie. What are we
Yeah.
talking about?
I think though he was a really well
Of course,
made character,
well
and
done.
I love his assistant played by Rachel
Mm-hmm.
House, who's just like I don't know. They played well off of
She
each
just
other.
hands him the stick. Like, what are you having
Yeah.
the death stick for? You just interrupted me. There's no
Yeah.
law against that. It's just Jeff Goldblum. He's just so much fun.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, and he doesn't necessarily have a huge character moment. It's just all the little things that build up to a great performance.
yes. Man, this is just a really short podcast just because we don't have a third person.
Well, and this movie doesn't have like the biggest ramifications when it comes to
Yeah.
the MCU.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how me and
Well,
Toa we can just go over for a long time. I don't know how that works. Maybe it's just because the movies we talk about are just so talkable.
yeah. Let's skip down to Hulk / Bruce Banner.
Very nice usage of him.
Yeah. I kind of wish that they had left the Planet Hulk storyline for a later time, but
Oh, I think it was a nice usage here.
Yeah. And it gave, it was in the movie enough without distracting from Thor, who was obviously the main focus.
So I was watching this movie and just seeing like just a bunch of there's just so many scenes where Hulk is just not doing anything, he's just sitting or talking. And I'm just looking at that, I was like, huh. They put a lot of money into this, didn't they? Just to have Hulk just sit there and talk.
Yeah, I think it is kind of nice to see who Hulk is beyond just Hulk smash.
Yes. Just seeing how he's growing as a learning how to speak better. I just like how he's just acting like a toddler in this.
Yeah.
Very fun. Again, there's really nothing much to talk about here.
Yeah, I liked his fight with Thor.
Of course, very fun. Banner, he's Banner.
Yeah, I like that moment when he jumped out of the spaceship.
Because you kind of at this point you kind of expect him to do that kind of joke.
Yeah,
he's like, oh yeah, I know what's gonna happen. He's gonna hit his head on the thing. I was kind of surprised at how far they went with him sliding. Actually, like,
yeah.
So that's what got me.
It was, yeah. I mean, it kind of ruined what could have been like an epic moment, but at the same time, that's what the whole movie is doing.
Just making fun of itself.
Yeah.
Very fun. Yeah, Hulk, he's Hulk.
I liked his relationship with Valkyrie.
Oh, yes. I was kind of figuring, is that going to be a new romance?
Yeah, that would definitely be
I don't know. I'm just getting so much mixed signals. Are we doing Valkyrie and Hulk or Valkyrie and Thor? I don't know.
I think that Valkyrie is very similar to Hulk.
Yes. So they're kind of like partners, pretty much.
Yeah.
Even though they play with each other.
Yeah, there's this, of course, it's implied that they're training together. Of course.
It's a small, cute moment.
Yeah. And it's sort of like, again, you're developing the Hulk character beyond Bruce Banner.
Yes, and is this the last time we're going to see Mark Ruffalo, or are we going to see him again in Infinity War?
Hopefully we see him again.
I think that's very likely. If Black Widow is in the movie, then I'm pretty sure we might see him again.
Yeah. We're definitely going to see the Hulk again. Which it will still be Mark Ruffalo, but it may not be normal human form.
Yes, of course. Now let's just talk about Valkyrie.
Okay, I thought her character was brilliant. Usually the old drunk washed up hero is a male character, so having it be the female character was very
I didn't really
interesting.
care about her
Um,
character. I feel
or
like she was just there to be the for. Like we need another hero in this. Let's just add this character, kind of thing.
yeah,
Like we need a female to just be there. That's what we need her for.
but I think what they did with the character was interesting. I especially like the moment when they have the epic ramp falls down and
Yeah,
he's mine and then falls
I
off.
don't know. I
Very
thought that was
anticlimactic.
just too much. It's just so bizarre, you know.
I mean, that's kind of what the rest of the movie is trying to do. It's very irreverent
I
humor.
suppose, but watching this movie again, like I'm gonna imagine I know all the jokes is coming. Is it gonna be the same, or is it just gonna be, oh, that was boring. Why did I even like that? I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's an element of that.
Yeah, that's you. It has to be like a really good comedy in order for you to just constantly be watching it, like a Monty Python, for instance.
Yeah,
I mean, you can watch that 100 times and it'll still be funny to you.
yeah. But I mean, the comedy for me worked out well.
It worked out well. Korg.
I'll discuss that a bit later once we get to our final thoughts.
I mean,
But
Korg was a very funny surprise.
yes, do we want to jump down to Korg?
Yeah, I got nothing on Valkyrie.
Yeah, yeah, he was hilarious.
Voiced by the director. A
Yeah,
very nice surprise.
and he wasn't like in the advertisement or anything, so I think it kind of surprised everyone. And it's a good self-insert character because it doesn't feel like the director is tried to show off, oh, I'm the director of this movie,
No, it's
so
just
I'm
like,
going to
oh,
do
here's
this.
this funny little character with his funny
Yeah,
voice. He's just so funny.
it's kind of like Unknown Mode in The Incredibles, who's also voiced by the director.
I know, like like I sent out pap flips for the, I don't know, for the protest. We ran out of pap flips.
Yeah,
No one showed up, and
yeah,
that's why I'm here.
it was.
He's just so odd. It's like, oh, he's dead. I stepped on him earlier. I'm just carrying around because I feel
Yeah,
so ashamed. Stuff like that is funny because it's just bizarre.
yeah, it's very out of nowhere. You don't necessarily expect it.
Hmm. And it's
Um,
just very vocal humor. It's not very physical. So
yeah, and that's, I guess. Oh wait, let's talk quick about Carl Urban as Scourge.
uh, I mean he was just typical villain. Don't want to be villain. He's there.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny to have Eomer and Galadriel from Lord of the Rings on the same side.
Yes.
So, you know, they my parents have a theory. They love Lord of the Rings, so when they saw this movie, they thought that Galadriel had recruited Eomer from Middle Earth, and they had gone to the Undying Lands, which turned out to be
Huh.
Asgard.
I mean that's an odd thing, but okay.
It connects the two universes,
I mean,
which
I feel like his whole story was just being overshadowed by the entirety of the movie. So,
yeah, but I think it was kind of meant to be. I did like the
oh
beginning.
yeah, for him the
It's
beginning, that was fun, but everything else was just kind of, oh, he's just there. He's just the side villain who's,
oh, and his guns
yes, where
were
his main
hilarious.
job was just to stand there at all,
Yeah,
being of all, just him just contemplating life until he just finally shows up in the end, just like, oh, I'm just gonna die now. Bang, bang, bang. Destroy.
Yeah.
Des and Troy.
Yes. I love how he got them in Texas.
In Texas. And then the whole
Very.
shake weighty thing.
Yes.
That was just out of, I don't know what's that about, but it is what it is.
And then, even though they sacrificed two characters for the joke, when he joins Kate Blanchett, that was also pretty funny.
Yeah. So, Suitor.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, he didn't have a whole bunch to do
He's
except
just,
destroy
yeah, just
Asgard.
create Ragnarok. Like him, when I saw him, like as soon as the movie started and he was talking to Thor, I got completely distracted because he's voiced by Clancy Brown, and and I could just hear his voice, so like that I just immediately
Yeah.
said like, oh hey, that's Clancy Brown. Took me out of the movie. It made me feel ashamed that I just recognize voice actors' voices so much. So
I do think I really love the prophecies in stories where you think, how will this ever be fulfilled, and then it ends up being fulfilled in a very unique
I like
way.
how
And
they
so,
just went with the whole story of, instead of just preventing Ragnarok, they just let it happen. So
yeah, it's not the direction you think it's going
yeah,
to
so
go.
instead of having a movie titled of something where the thing doesn't actually happen, it actually happens.
Yeah.
So you know,
I do think it was a little bit of a missed title.
of course, but I think all the different stories worked so well.
Yeah, and they've been leading up to this since 2013 with the Dark World. So,
Yeah,
I think we've pretty much gotten to the end of the important
yeah. There's
characters.
really is for us. There's really not much to talk about because we're always in agreement with this.
Yeah. Shall we do our final thoughts,
Yeah, this is a short
or is
podcast,
there?
so
Yeah. I mean, I do have.
I don't know. Let's talk about favorite scenes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Ooh, that's a tough
It is a
one.
tough one, especially for me. I need to remember the movie.
um, I think as an individual scene, I like the whole part with Doctor Strange.
Of course.
Even though that doesn't, it isn't the most indicative of the entire movie, but I really liked it.
I don't know. I like the introduction of the Grandmaster.
Yeah. And it, I mean, this is one of those movies where like every scene is a good scene.
Yeah.
So you could either go with like, I mean, the Doctor Strange scene for me is the one that stands out as the least like all of the other
Mm-hmm.
scenes. But yeah, they're all, everything in this movie is pretty great.
Yeah. So, there's really much you can say about this. Pretty much.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, one of the things as I was like thinking about this is, if you look at the Guardians of the Galaxy, which a similar type of movie, Guardians of the Galaxy feels like it was made by a bunch of frat boys with their girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
The humor is very much frat boy humor, and I'm not a big fan of that humor, so I'm not a big fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. Whereas Thor Ragnarok feels like it was made by all of the outsiders in high school, like the smart kids and the theater kids, and they all got
Of
together
course. Something that we
to
would
make a
do.
movie. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I love that type of like the political humor with the trying to start a revolution and it failed.
Because we didn't have enough
And
pamphlets.
yeah, and it's just like quirky, out of the box. Guardians of the Galaxy was also out of the box, but I feel like it was less quirky. Um,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was more like funny just to be funny. There was like no purpose for it.
yeah, and I think the same can be said of Thor
Of course,
Ragnarok.
but
But I mean, if you like, I mean, it's all about what style of humor you have. Like Thor Ragnarok is very much in my style of humor, and Guardians of the Galaxy is very much not. Which is, and yeah, if you like both, then great. If you like neither, then
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I think you need some help. You need someone in your life.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean, similar with Guardians of the Galaxy, if you don't like the humor, you're not going to like the
Of
movie.
course. Because the movie is
I don't.
consisting of the humor.
Yeah, and that's my complaint about Guardians of the Galaxy is I don't like the humor,
Hmm.
so I'm just kind of left sitting in the theater bored.
I see.
But yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah, Thor, Ragnarok. It's a good movie, of
worth checking out.
course.
Definitely worth checking out.
Very funny.
Yes, hilarious. There's probably something in there for everyone.
I'm sure I had a whole rant or an argument about it, but I just can't remember it. Because, one, I only saw the movie once, and two, this is just like a last minute podcast decision.
Yeah.
So,
I think the one let's end with like a negative as well. I think the one negative for me is that there isn't really any weight to the movie. It's so many jokes and so much fun that even the emotional moments don't have much emotion in them.
yes.
But as problems go, that's not a very big problem.
Yeah. I would probably.
The movie was too much fun.
Um. Didn't I have an argument that a movie was so much fun? Oh yeah, Civil War. That was
Maybe.
my biggest
Oh
reason
yeah,
for not
yeah,
liking it. Was that it was so much fun.
yeah. That I mean, that is a fair complaint.
It is a
But
very complete. There's not much
it's not.
emotional movement. It's
Yeah,
just so much comedy. Yeah. Again, my biggest complaint is they don't address Jane very well, and that's
yeah.
it. That's all I have to say. That's pretty much negative.
Oh, we should talk about those. The trailers were incredible.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I'll just insert that. And they also used "Immigrant Song" for that final fight
Hmm.
scene, which was really cool. Like, I don't remember if Suicide Squad actually used Bohemian Rhapsody in
Oh,
any
it did it. Oh,
significant
they did.
way.
They just did it at the very end,
Okay,
just to
yeah.
end off the movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. This one was a bit more
Yeah, they
significant.
actually used the song, which I was a bit surprised by too.
Yeah, and it's a good song. You can also see it in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, where
Oh,
they did a
I forgot to
much
say
darker
that the
cover.
action sequences were amazing in this movie.
Yeah,
Thor, I don't really think much about it, so
yeah. They they had some really good fight sequences and some really cool cinematography for it.
yes.
Oh, and I think I'll have to look it up, but one of the big problems people have had with Marvel is that their movies look too gray, and it's a problem with contrast where their black colors on screen aren't dark enough.
Ah,
But I think Thor Ragnarok, they've started realizing that. So Thor Ragnarok actually has that color pop, so it doesn't all look gray.
so I just got a comment on a video where everyone is just so mixed. In the video is yeah, the video is just done in a different language, and I don't know what language it is. So I ask what language it is, and I have like 3 comments. One says that it's Japanese. The other one says that it's Chinese. The one that I just got just says it's Thailand. I don't know. So I don't know what language it is, and it does not look like either of them. So
interesting.
I don't know what it is. And that's a nice way to end this off.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Here's a way to end it off that will be a little bit more interesting. Let's discuss Black Panther briefly.
I don't know.
Are you looking forward to it?
I mean, I'm gonna watch it, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna top anything.
Interesting. I think it looks really good.
The first trailer I liked, but the newer trailers that show like too much of the story, it just kind of looks bland and a typical. It's like a typical. Yeah. Oh, I want to rule the kingdom. I'm gonna take over. Let's fight for that. I don't know.
I mean, it is interesting because it's never been done in a superhero movie. To the same degree.
Sure, but I don't really know much about Black Panther as a character, so all I know is that he rules a country, and that's it.
Yeah, I think that's a big problem that the movie's going to have, is that people just don't know Black Panther the way that they know other characters. Yeah. But the good thing is that Marvel has been really good at introducing. Like, I mean, they sold off their most popular characters, and yet somehow they're the most successful of any superhero series.
Yeah, for me, I feel like some of the better Marvel movies are the ones where they introduce a new character.
Yeah. And, I mean, I think, let me double check. I believe it's Ryan Coogler is the director, and he looks like he's doing a really good job. Mm-hmm. The cast is incredible. Like, it's the kind of cast of this is such an important movie on a lot of levels, so you just get every major African American actor in Hollywood is trying to be in this movie. Mm-hmm. So you just have like so many incredible actors. You have Lupita Nyong'o, Michael B. Jordan, Angela Bassett, Forrest Whitaker.
I'm just going to be thinking of Saul Guerrero when I see him.
Yes, it is, and the director is Ryan Coogler, and he's done some pretty successful movies. Most notably Creed.
I haven't seen Creed. So that's our weak thoughts on the movie.
Well, one other comment I have is that Black Panther, I like how Wakanda looks a lot like, it has a lot of Asgardian type looking, more like fantasy looking buildings and stuff.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Sure it does.
Yeah, that's all I had to add on.
All right. Is that everything we have?
Yeah.
All right. So, that's all we have for now. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.